started.
Okay, I'm gonna start this meeting. This is a special meeting on this Friday, April the 4th, 2025, 3 o'clock. I'm going to, we have a proposed agenda. Does anybody want to make any additions to that or corrections? If not, we'll move forward.
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, call to order. Bill.
Here.
Glenn.
Here.
Gene. Here. Alex.
Here.
I'm here, so all here. Now then, what we're gonna talk about, really important issue, consideration of fire hydrants, inspection and maintenance proposal. Distribution system, resources LTD and associate fees. And Justin, I'm gonna turn this over to you.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I got 4 options, really 5 options I just want to present. Pros, the different 5 options I came up with, pros and cons, and then we can go from there. So the first so I think everybody's aware fire hydrants is a big deal. People are concerned about fires, but they really haven't been tested for at least a decade. And so it's kind of come to a head that we probably should do something. So my options are, first option is a no change, which is probably not a good option, based on what the public wants, because.
But it's an option.
But it is an option. The do nothing option is always an option. And the cons with that is not really gonna, alleviate the public's concerns, valid concerns. The pros is it doesn't cost us anything. The next one is hire, is use our existing employees when available to start testing these meters. Pros to that is no cost for it. The cons are, our guys are busy. There's, we already have over 40, connections on the list to be going on, and we're really behind the gun, because now that it's getting warmer out, all those frozen meters that were out there that nobody lived in that house, so they didn't know it was frozen, are starting to pop. So the guys are really repairing a lot of meters. So the problem is, we're really not gonna make a significant dent in it if we do that. The next one is hire employees specifically for this. And I think if we hired 2 employees, we could get it done, I'm guessing, in about 15 weeks. At least tested. I'm not saying we repair them all. If there's problems, we could probably get them tested in 15 weeks. And then just focus on that. The cons are, I'm guessing it would cost us somewhere in the $70,000 range. That's to pay a salary and of vehicles and so on and so forth. I think we need at least 2 employees, at least 2, to do this. My concern is, I'm concerned how difficult it may be to find people to do this. Glenn came up with an idea, which is a good idea, and is to see if we can get school teachers that want to do it, that have summertime work. I know a school keeper, I talked to her, she's gonna kind of ask around just to see what's going on. But it is a concern if we can find somebody and so on and so forth. My fourth,
And then if you only have 2 insurance, who back goes out,
Yeah.
your whole program is.
with application,
Right,
whatever happens. 4 is use volunteers from other organizations, sheriff's department, PLPOA, whoever. The pro with that, there's no cost. The cons are, I don't think you're gonna get a lot tested with that. I mean, these are volunteers. 6 o'clock in the morning, alarm goes off, and I can go turn on hydrants for free, or I can go back to bed. My concern is not getting done. I also am concerned that would lead to the highest likelihood of damage to the equipment. As we've discussed in the past, these have to be tested correctly. You can cause significant damage to infrastructure if it's not done correctly. And no matter how well the hydrant works, if we blow up the pipe leading to it, doesn't do us any good. So that's a real concern with that. Also, just trying to get these guys scheduled and where to take them to, and making sure all the hydrants are getting done, it becomes somewhat of an issue.
So
So
the case that, like, if this is being done by water guys, the feedback that you're gonna get is gonna be much higher quality on a number of fronts.
Exactly, which leads me to my fifth and final, and my preferred option is we hired a third-party contractor. The con on that one is we talked to a third party, it's $127,000 to do this. They believe they can get it done in 12 weeks or quicker. The pros are these guys are certified, they're the crew, the company we talked to, and Glenn and Alex joined us with that, they seemed extremely knowledgeable. They could commit a two-man crew, and then sometimes, some weeks, we might have an extra 2 or extra 4 people. So with just a two-man crew, they'd commit to getting it done within 12 weeks. If they get more crews in there, of course, that would shorten that amount of time. This is what they do. They know how to do it. They know how to do the maintenance on them. Like I said, they were extremely knowledgeable. They're licensed, they're certified, they have their own vehicles, they have their own equipment, and they just go. So that's kind of what I like to
I
do.
wanna hear the cons other than the
That's
price.
really just the con, is the
Well,
price.
there's another con, and that's we haven't trained somebody locally to do the job. And it's gonna have to be an ongoing, I mean, we don't wanna wait 10 years
No,
to do
this
it
is
again.
my,
So that's a con, is that we haven't trained the school teachers, or we haven't trained the fire.
We're off that. We're on to the.
so my thought is, even if we did this, these guys, we'd go on a schedule to do this, whether it's, we do from here on out, we do a third every year, or a quarter every year, or however we want to do it.
Or a sweep every 3 years.
Or sweep, and I think we make that decision how often it should be done after we get it done, because then we kind of know, like I said, if we do all these, if they test 1,140 and 2% need repair or replacement, that's pretty good. Then maybe we only have to do it every 5 years. If we test them all and 75% are shot, we may want to test earlier, so I think we make the decision. I guess the sixth option is we blend those together. If we hire this third party and we can hire our own crews to do it, however many our crews do, that just reduces their cost. Their charges per hydrant, from that, it's $1,111, something like that.
So there's
So if we teach some teachers to do it, or our guy, and I still think we also send our guys out when they have time to do it, every one that they hit chips away at that $127,000. And we still get that trained, and it gives us an idea, can we find somebody? And do they want to come back? And so on and so forth. There's nothing that says we can't do.
You could do all
So we
three,
use it at the same
you could
time,
do
yeah.
three options.
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to kind of get away from is the volunteers. That just kind of concerns me.
Go that way.
Well, let me say what I'd like to see is a motion for one of these procedures. We'll get a second, then we'll discuss them.
Well, before you do a motion, let me say something first.
Yeah, before you always
Ask for a
do.
motion. I have a really hard time taking this on without ever sitting down with the fire district board, not fire chief. Talk to the fire chief. I want to talk to the fire chief, but I do want to talk to the board. I want to sit down and have a joint meeting in the next week and sit down with their board, if they're willing to. And I mean, I'm willing to get a no from them, but I don't want to approve anything and have PAWS be totally responsible for this when Glenn did research into who normally checks fire hydrants in the United States. And it's usually the fire department checking to make sure they work. And the water district maintains them when they're not working. So I think that's a very fair ask of their board. And again, I don't want to meet with the chief. I want to meet with the board.
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman. Once we get into discussion, I was going to suggest that I think there's many benefits of having either our guys, if we can afford it, or this contractor do it. But who does it benefit? Some are Archuleta County, all of the fire district. What if we ask for their monetary support? And knock that $120,000 down to half of that or something. Kind of the best of both worlds. We're getting a professional job done, and others who benefit are helping pay. And I couldn't agree with you more.
Another way.
The board makes decisions, not staff.
well, again, in like my research, it's not that clear cut. What is clear cut is that fire districts do not wash their hands of the process. There's an obvious meeting place in the hydrant between the water district and the fire department. And a lot of that involves the water district and diagnosing problems and fixing problems in the barrel and, at the valves. That's something we're gonna do anyway. So it's really, now, fire districts, to expect them to site eval everyone every year is like standard operating procedure. Testing the valves, greasing the valves, because that's their equipment they use, is perfectly reasonable on our part. However, and I think we should follow up with the board, but I think the chief is very adamant that he does not want to get involved in this right now. I'm personally pretty adamant that somebody in this community show decisive leadership, and I think that needs to be paused. And they know, we know, and we know that they know, that if they say no, we are still going to do this. So I think we can do two things at once, is we can go forward and establish a really solid, decisive program, then go to them and say, here's the direction we're going. Why aren't you participating with us in this? And if they want to say no at that point, that's fine. But we're not going to not do this, from my perspective, if the fire department board says we're not participating, because somebody has to do it.
I completely agree,
So,
but I want to sit down with the board first.
For those of you who have talked to the fire chief already, did he express why? Was it a manpower issue or a financial issue?
I spoke with him. It seemed like a manpower issue, and then also that, he believes that it's our responsibility. It's what I gathered from that conversation.
Okay, because,
Um,
and I don't know their budget, I don't know anything, you know, I'm a retired fireman, but besides that, they just got a new income stream, as you read in the paper.
Right.
They have impact fees now that they get from large developments. I don't know if that's spoken for or not. I don't even mean to insinuate, but again, I go back to who does it benefit? Them, the county, and us. So I'm suggesting a
well, it
cooperation.
benefits the community first,
Yeah.
not the political entities
Right.
that more or less
There's
represent
nothing else
the
we can do.
So,
We could charge them $500, the fire department, every time one of them faucets turned on, if they don't participate.
I'm not in favor of charging anybody anything. I would like to have a discussion and have.
But if you wanna make a motion, you wanna make a motion that you don't do that, then we'll see if you get
Okay,
it.
okay.
Go ahead.
I would move that we contact the fire district and ask them for a joint meeting with the full knowledge that if they don't participate with us, we're going to go ahead anyway. As Glenn said, you know, that's, I think that's been expressed by,
well,
At least a couple of
why don't we
us.
go ahead anyway then, and then have.
All right. Let's see if he gets a second. I don't think-
Yeah,
okay. So my motion is that we not take any action to hire anybody or line up volunteers or school teachers until we have sat down with the fire district within the next 2 weeks. And if they won't meet with us, then we have another meeting and we go ahead with whatever we're gonna do.
Would you accept a, sort of
Amendment,
amendment to that to include Archuleta County in on that meeting?
I can invite them, but if Archuleta County can't come to it, I want the district to say no to us. And
Yes.
so I don't know if there's a second on that.
Is there anybody on second?
I would invite them.
yes. I think we need to take the leadership here.
Okay, do anybody have, anybody's got an option, does anybody want to second that?
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made, seconded for your motion.
Okay,
All in favor?
well, discussion.
No discussion.
okay, you know, a couple of points. If we're gonna establish this approach, this program, which we need a comprehensive fire hydrant inspection, maintenance and replacement program. I don't see why we can't go forward with that, demonstrate some real leadership, establish the program, as has been done with other programs like dispatch. And then on the basis of that momentum, turn to districts and get participation. Secondly, I don't want to kick this down the road 2 weeks or a month or whatever it could be, because every other community, we're not alone in being spooked or panicked or even just understandably concerned about what happened in California, about the lack of precipitation. We wait 2 weeks, we may not get a crew. We certainly probably won't get 2 crews. You know, this could be pushed off till September next year. So if we're going to do it anyway, let's simply demonstrate the leadership and do it, and then challenge the other districts, and particularly the fire district. I mean, our connection with the county on this issue, I think the sheriff showed a lot. I mean, you're very impressed with like the degree of cooperation that they're showing, but there's no natural fit there. They don't meet us at the meter. They've got big concerns with fires where there are no meters. Even the town, even though as a town resident, I could suggest some things I'd like to see. There's no natural meeting at the meter. It really is the fire department. So I would suggest, again, I would prefer that we go forward, demonstrate the leadership, lock in this. I can't tell you how impressed I was with our meeting. These guys and Art were just talking hydrants. It was like watching car talk, but about hydrants. They know what they're talking about. You know, they know every hydrant that's been installed in the last 100 years. I'd like to lock these guys in and get going, and even having done that, see if we can even move up the date when they can start. And work on that now.
Okay, thank you. And I'm gonna agree, I'm gonna,
And on par with that, I agree with you totally. I hate to lose out on going to get these because we wait too long. And at the same time, on your behalf, we could also start trying the hiring of a couple people to do it internally too, that we bring in. We can do all that simultaneously because, you know, if we start to advertise for people tomorrow, it still could take a couple weeks to.
And schedule meetings.
let me have the floor,
Please,
please.
please.
I'm gonna go with this motion. We need to get this done now, and then we can have those other meetings that you want to. So I will not vote for your motion.
Would you wait a week?
No, no week. We can kick this down
Would you
the
wait a
road.
week?
I think if we're gonna get it done, we're gonna get it done regardless of the fire department's cooperation. I think that we get it done. We go to the fire department and say, hey, can you participate in this? I don't think putting them under pressure before we make a vote on it is necessarily gonna change the minds of any of those board members. I think we need to lock this in and get it done. And I did like your idea of using local resources. The reason I think it's a good idea to use this crew specifically this time is these valves have not been exercised in 10 years. And that those professionals are gonna know how to treat that properly to make sure that we don't have accidents. And then going forward, I think your plan is excellent. Is using locals in the community, school teachers, people that we can find, maybe hiring a summer crew, and cutting the costs down, saving our ratepayers money. But because it hasn't been tested in 10 years, I think we need to get on this immediately. And not only do we need to get on it immediately, but we need professionals that is their bread and butter. They get up every day and they turn hydrants. And they know it better than probably anybody in our district. I mean, I think we got great guys here, but they're not turning hydrants every single day, 40 hours a week. Those guys are gonna be really good at what they do. I've called a couple of their references and I've gotten really great feedback on it. So I think that this is a serious community issue and we need to take the leadership. And if people don't wanna help us out, they're either going to or they're not. But at the end of the day, we have to get it done.
So,
Okay, Gene.
One question, one comment. If we reduce the number of hydrants by 50 because locals can do it, does that affect the price?
Yeah, their charges per hydrant.
No charge.
So every hydrant that we do on our own, that's $104
No,
less than.
but if we only have them do 900, same price per hydrant.
Yep, yeah. Well, I believe so. I'll verify that. That's the way that they wrote their bid. That's the way it sounds to me.
And then the comment I have is semantics, I guess. Hydrants and isolation valves that isolate the hydrants.
Yeah,
The last time they were tested by the fire department, as I recall, they tested only the hydrants.
Yeah.
The valves that isolate them may not have been tested in 30 years.
yeah. So and these guys will, they brought that up. They will actually bring metal detectors out. So if they can't find it, they'll look for it. And then they'll document it. And we've met with them and Kyle, our GIS guy, everything will go through CityWorks. They can work right within their CityWorks. They'll have iPad and there'll be a checkbox of things that they look at. Does it need paint? You know, how many turns did it take to open the valve? Was there an isolation valve? Did it work? And they'll go through that and it automatically gets uploaded to our system. So we have that record for
Right.
whatever.
I saw the city works Val yesterday working with Sean, and it's impressive. There, he knew exactly what was going on.
Bill, you got the floor.
So when Justin met with the county and the town, he said, we can't start this until May 1 because weather, it's freezing weather. We can't spread water over the streets and have it freeze and cause accidents. So, one, we're not gonna do this until May 1.
Like third quarter.
Possibly,
It depends on the weather, yeah.
possibly. To say that you don't want to wait 1 week, the beginning of April, to ask the fire department when we're gonna put out $130,000 that's not in our budget, and to say we can't wait 1 week to find out if we have to pay that whole $130,000, to me, is bad fiscal policy.
It won't make
Bad
any difference.
fiscal
We're
policy.
gonna do it either way.
We're gonna do it either way.
Okay.
We're gonna do it either way, but to say you won't wait a week to find out if we have to pay the whole 130 that we don't have in our budget, and we're not gonna start it until May, I have a really hard time understanding. Maybe you wanna be heroes and show up as the heroes of the community, but that's not what I wanna do.
Cartoon.
That's not what I wanna
members.
do. That's
No,
not
but
what
I
I
want to
wanna do.
cartoon other board members.
Yeah, please.
I respect your position,
I'm
and
trying
where
to
you're
figure it
coming
out
from,
why you won't wait.
and I'm not turning you into some sort of,
Hero.
cartoon character.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm accepting what you're saying and respecting it, so just show the same respect of the board members.
Okay, let's have a vote. All in favor of Bill's motion?
Aye.
All in favor of Bill's motion? All in favor of Bill's motion? Motion fails. Okay, do I have another motion?
Yeah, I would make a motion that we go with option 5, which is that we hire this crew, approve the crew, and continue to work on other avenues if we have availability of our employees to test hydrants, before they can start. We do that, knocks down the cost, but I think we should start off with the hydrants that are in the most used areas from fire departments, stuff like that, where they're filling up consistently. And then we use the third party testing group. That would be my motion.
Okay, I second that motion.
Real quick,
Would you,
Any more
would you amend
discussion?
it? Would you amend it? To add a meeting with the fire district afterwards?
Yes, yeah, I believe that we should hold a meeting with the fire district board of directors.
And the county?
If the county would like to attend, but I think this is mostly gonna be between,
I would rather have it directly with the.
because I spoke with Mike LaRue, and Mike LaRue is our sheriff is totally willing, if county business is being handled, and if their fire crews are not being used, to assist us.
For discussion?
Yes, go ahead.
I'll
He
second the motion.
seconded, he seconded.
I'll second the motion.
For discussion, I agree.
Let's vote on the the second amendment to the motion right now. You want to say something before we do the vote of amendment?
I asked him to amend it to include a meeting with the fire department.
I'll second that.
Okay. Okay, any more discussion? If not, yes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that motion carries, amendment carries. Now we're gonna vote on the original motion.
Discussion?
Buddy?
Well, I was just gonna say, it seems like it's in the best interest of our customers that guys that do this for a living do it. And, if this is a busy season for crime and everything else that the good sheriff's department does, I'm just in favor of asking for financial, if they can't give us physical support, please consider financial support. And I can't say it loud enough, cooperation, who benefits?
I agree.
The community.
I have one more thing left to say, because I want to make sure, because I believe Mike LaRue, our sheriff, was misquoted before. And so I do want to make it clear that what he has said as far as his assistance is his first priority is for his wildland fire crew is fighting wildland fires. The second priority is handling any other county business that is deemed necessary by the sheriff or anybody else in the county administration. And then the third priority After all of that, if they have leftover time and they're sitting around, they will go test hydrants.
That's great. That's
They,
good.
they are willing to.
Okay. All right, so,
So, a comment?
Yeah.
I agree with Gene that one of the approaches with the fire district could be simply asking for financial help, knowing that we don't have this money in our budget. And I agree that whoever does the testing should be trained to do the testing. And it shouldn't be people who wander off,
that's a good
from a fire, wildland fire crew that have never done it, never been trained.
From a guy who has fixed leaks caused by untrained people.
I agree with exactly what Gene's saying, and I just want to make that clear. It doesn't have anything to do with the motion specifically, but
but that's true. It's gotta be that way.
So just for my clarity.
Yes.
What we're doing, Alex's motion, is we're going to approve your proposal from
Mhm.
Distribution System Resources.
Right.
Direct staff to see if they can find some personnel who can assist with this effort, pay some paid contractors or independent contractors. And then also attempt, to schedule a meeting with the fire district. So we can have kind of an honest conversation about, joint funding or, joint approaches going forward. That's
That's how I understand it.
that's what I understand.
Yes.
Everybody agrees?
Yeah, that's what I would say.
I think so, as Aaron had pointed out, because this is over $100,000, it really has to go to bid per statute. I'm gonna guess, but we have to talk to Marcus, that there is, if this is an emergency, we can probably, I'm assuming there's something in there if it's an emergency. So I wonder if maybe you should make a motion that you guys think this is an emergency, so that if that's the case, we can move forward that way.
Well, yes, he said it's emergency.
Well, I'm thinking maybe you guys should vote as a board saying, we believe this is an emergency.
Okay, well,
As a separate motion?
As a separate
Separate
motion,
motion, yes.
if they cover us in case that comes up.
Okay, let's do the emergency first then.
Well,
Then we can.
Well, if you vote, you guys
Well, we
vote.
got a motion, we got a motion on the floor. Let's vote for this.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Okay. Gene,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that the board declares this project as an emergency. Because we believe it is, and it has caused a lot of concern in the community, and rightfully so. So I would like this board to declare it an emergency.
okay.
I will second
Got a second. Okay, we got a second by Alex. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Is that-
Thank you. And also, I don't know if we need that, but just in case it's.
and since the structure of the proposal is whatever, $111 per hydrant, there's no fix that would be if they inspected each one. Right? If we get even some small window for our own people, that could bring it down.
They could.
So.
And take it out of the emergency.
Right. Okay. Is there any other business that needs to come to this special meeting?
And we are going to try to work around and get this incorporated into the existing budget.
Will this be on the next one?
Yeah, and just bring you guys up to speed on that. Aaron has looked into that, that's what Aaron does, and has found some budget items that we probably weren't gonna get to this year or don't, or can put off to pay for this within our, and possibly even do it without having to do a budget amendment. But worst case, we do a budget amendment.
So at this point, we're approving this. This is gonna be funded. And we are not going to raise our customers' rates over this.
Correct.
At this point, depending, if we end up with 75% of the hydrants needing major repair, maybe we have to reevaluate that, but currently it's not gonna raise our customers' rates.
Right.
Right.
Well, I mean, I've often made the point that Pause is scary in its ability to actually raise revenue. I mean, the restrictions on us are fairly bureaucratic. They're kind of hoops that we can jump through. And that's scary in some regards. You could elect a board that could decide to build a disastrous reservoir. But one of the good things is that we do have the flexibility if we encounter a genuine emergency to deal with it. And if we need to shift revenue or even move revenue, from the reserves in the general fund, $50,000 a year, we have that latitude. So it's still a scary power, but if we can put it to use for a good public purpose and.
Well, another thing with the Highway 160 reconstruction going on, there's probably 6 or so hydrants on the highway that we may want to do first. So we don't,
Some are being relocated, so by definition.
There you go. Okay.
One piece of business, since you mentioned the hydrants, the town is struggling to put their infrastructure in underneath the reconstruction. And they're proposing to add hydrants along the route of the highway reconstruction, new hydrants. And they asked, oh, will pause cover that for us? So be aware that you might be looking at a request from the town for pause to pay for 7 new hydrants, and I think it was quoted at $500 million.
I don't think it's been quoted. They've come to me and talked about it, and based on what the contractor's charging us to make those crossings, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be in the.
It was in the millions, I can't remember.
Well, just our 8 crossings is 1.5
Yeah,
million,
well,
so they want 7 crossings. So I gotta assume it's gonna be more than 1.5 million.
well, the town board did approve town infrastructure, whatever that is, to the tune of 7 million, I think, so.
And
If they're gonna pay for them,
it was new hydrants.
I'd say we don't, that'd be the good thing for the city to put their fair share in, wouldn't it?
Mhm. Yeah.
Let's vote on that.
Well, it's also discretionary in a sense that, you know, our general view is that these were not deficient hydrants. These were not hydrants that, right, is that this is a development project in many ways to service on like an East Village development idea. And it's not the responsibility of our customers, right, to subsidize developers, even if that development is in part a municipal, private-public partnership. That's not what our customers need to do, in my opinion. So,
So who is going to contact the fire district board? Jim?
Do it, or I can do it.
Alex?
I don't mind.
Alex, okay, you can do that, yeah, you've got, you know those guys.
I do know some people around there.
They're real close, right?
and dispatch may be a model. If you remember, dispatch was, county took the lead, county established it, and then it started, people saw it was very worthwhile, it was really, you know, and people joined in, so.
And the cost went.
Yeah, well, the demand goes.
Now,
I had the expectation of timely service.
sounds good.
Okay, so Alex is running with that.
motion to adjourn.
All right. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Way to go, guys.